Hey, Johnny, we are back
I know.
talking comics again for the first time since March, I believe, 2017.
Well, at least talking about comics for everyone else to hear about.
Yes, talking comics on that great show, Imaginary Stories, that went 10 episodes. And so, like they used to do back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, especially when they didn't want to pay for a new postal um whatever like authority to start a new title, they would just switch the title and keep the numbering
Mm-hmm.
of the other title, like Journey into Mystery became Thor and others. So this is now Fantasy Masterpieces issue 11 or episode 11.
Mm-hmm. We may have only done 10 episodes, but that was 100 hours of content. I mean,
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think the average episode was probably 3 hours.
yes.
They were very, we had to do a lot of prep for them, or at least I put a lot of pressure on myself to do a lot of prep. So I kind of they were hard to do because I had to read all these issues, notes. I wanted it to be like the definitive statement, which is, my ego or something. It was ridiculous. But I mean, I think some of them have aged well. Some of them I've definitely learned a lot more since than we did. Dick
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, for example, that we're doing tonight. So yeah, the concept here is we're going to be watching, you know, TV pilots, failed pilots, 70s cartoons, 60s cartoons, music, power records, just media related to comic book characters, comic strip characters, and yeah, just rapping about that stuff. And then at the end, I'll pull out some items from my great collection that relate to what we're discussing. And yeah, this is a pilot, and we're talking about a pilot
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. So this could be a little rough around the edges, but anyway,
It's free. There's nothing
it's
to come.
exactly, it's free until we become super popular. Then we'll charge you bastards.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that probably won't happen. But yeah, it's just going to be fun, some fun talk about comics and especially comics related media. Johnny, this is kind of your, one of your sweet spots. You love this stuff.
I love, because as we were talking about off mic, um, I compare it to like going when I go to like Target or Walmart for something. I always go to the toy aisle now, so I can look at all these the superhero action figures. They've got everybody and everything. But when I was a kid, you were lucky to get a Mego doll. There wasn't much. Just like out for the last whatever 15, nearly 20 years, we are immersed in superhero media of
Yeah.
all kinds. Back when I was a kid in the 70s, there wasn't a lot, and you clung to whatever you could find.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've already started doing a deep dive into material for upcoming shows, there's a lot out there I never even knew existed. We're going to be going from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and who knows. But there is, for instance, when I was a little kid, it'd be like, and I guess we're going to definitely do this. The best example is that the Hanna-Barbera Power Hour, and it was on reruns on some channel because it was a 60s show, and it featured all kinds of characters, but you were always praying, please be a Fantastic Four. Please be a Fantastic Four. And then you get a Frankenstein Jr. or the Impossibles. And the Impossibles, which we will cover because it was both superheroes and Beatlemania all wrapped up in one show. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to this. And as we mentioned on the old show, we covered Dick Tracy, and it's there's a lot of Dick Tracy media out there. So of course, everyone's aware of the Warren Beatty movie, and maybe even aware of the serials starring Ralph Bird. But Kelly brought this one up, and I'd recently just been hearing someone, either Dana Gould or Frank Santapadre, talking about this, and it's the Dick Tracy pilot episode from 1967 for ABC. And wow, it's something else.
Yeah. This, I don't know even how it exists really because it didn't air. But it got out there somehow. I remember reading years ago, it was in Adam West's biography, and he's talking about how Batman, the TV show, came about, and he mentions how well the first idea for ABC was to do a Dick Tracy show, but they were outbid by NBC for the rights. And then also apparently, I read this recently, they did a poll. I think it was ABC. They did a poll asking what comic character would you like made into a TV show. Before they made Batman, and Dick Tracy did win the poll, finished first. So there was definitely interest. And yeah, well, it was William Dozier, the creator of Batman, that eventually, he had the magic touch, and so he eventually got a crack at Dick Tracy.
And also Green Hornet, which did make the air.
Yes.
But and as we'll see when we talk about this, it was like Dozier's a bit of a one idea wonder when it comes to these because wow, this is it's basically a Batman episode.
Oh, totally.
And the thing was about Batmania is as hot as it burned, it died just as fast.
Yes. Yeah, I was just reading that. I was shocked at how quickly the popularity of the Batman show went down because in its first year, they would do 2 episodes a week and both finished in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then the very next season, it dropped all the way to, I think, 35 and 52 or something. They were still doing 2 episodes. So a big decline. Green Hornet was played serious or straight compared to Batman anyway. And I think its debut episode, maybe the first 2 did well, but it immediately nosedived. So it was around that time that they were making this pilot for Dick Tracy. And yeah, the peak of Batmania, it was a true fad. It burned like a supernova, white hot supernova, but by the end of 1966, and it kept going until 68. By the end of
68.
Yeah, it went to 68. By the end of 66, it was, almost yesterday's news.
Yeah, well, the second season episodes of Batman are still pretty good and a lot of fun. But that third season is awful. It's
with Batgirl.
The Batgirl's the best part, mainly because when I first discovered the Batman reruns when I was like 6, Batgirl made me realize that I liked chicks. And I was like, God damn. And
yes.
And I was a sucker for more heroes. But what I also noticed, like, why is Liberace a villain? Why is Ethel Merman a villain?
Right.
And yes, anyway, did I know who Ethel Merman and Liberace were when I was like 6 years old? Of course I did.
Yeah, it's because everybody wanted to hop on the gravy train. So some stars that had seen their star fade in the previous decade were like, get me on Batman. Yeah,
Milton Berle was on there.
Vincent Price, of course.
Well, Egghead, come on, Egghead's all right.
No, I know that could have been an actual Batman villain. That was quality.
So, hey, never let me say that I'm not someone who knows how to find a segue in a conversation. My favorite of the created for the TV show Batman villains was King Tut.
Yes.
Played by Victor Buono, who will be playing the villain in the episode of Dick Tracy that we're about to discuss.
Yes, Mr. Memory. So we'll get right into it. But, of course, we got to start with the amazing theme for this show, performed by the Ventures.
The Ventures. When I saw the Ventures in the end credits, my mouth dropped.
Right, because known for the hit Walk, Don't Run. What year was that? Early 60s, right? I want to say like 62, 3 maybe. But maybe later, I'm not sure. And they also did the theme for Hawaii 5-0, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So let's judge the quality of this little piece of music.
Dick Tracy, He's a good cop.
Dick Tracy! He's a good cop.
And the intro is great. It shows all the characters as cartoons turning into the actors.
The music's great, but the lyrics are.
Tracy.
Listen to this.
Oh, I know.
Awful.
Just the tones. I mean,
They're trying to convince all the hippies in the audience that he's a good cop.
he's not one of those bad cops. So, yeah, and their most notable music is instrumental, right? So I guess there's a reason for that.
Yeah, or if that was that Bill Dozier?
I know. Yeah, was that? Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it wasn't someone from the Venture.
He was the narrator of the Batman show and the narrator of this show.
Yes, I mean he did it all. So, okay, let's
get started.
Further ado, Johnny, you can take it away on this.
Okay, so I'm gonna break down. We're gonna go through the story. It's a 24-minute pilot. I took some notes for those of you. It is on YouTube to watch, but if you'd rather listen to us talk about it, which I prefer, because. So it starts off with our villain, Mr. Memory, played by Victor Buono, who was a gay man, and boy, you could tell watching this episode of television. He is in your Charles Nelson Riley level of he's a flamboyant confirmed bachelor. Is that what? Okay. He's on a phone.
I called him.
Yeah, he's on a phone with a collaborator in DC about kidnapping some ambassadors, and we see the ambassadors kidnap the French ambassador gets shot with a dart by a flower lady. The West German one gets flames shot in his face, and they toss him, and then he's carried like a luggage. Did you see that, Cal?
Yes.
The guy just lifts him up on his hip and walks away with him like luggage and tosses him in a manhole. And the other guy trips over a tripwire and gets judo chopped. Now, when I saw the judo chop, it made me so happy. That's how you know it's the 60s.
Yes.
If there's a good judo chop. I mean, it's not the last judo chop we're going to see in this episode. And they get into a stolen ambulance that they hit a button and it changes into a Jolly ice cream.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was a nice touch.
It kind of looked good. So as we said, we had the intro, and we're going to go over the actors that are introduced as our principals here. First of all, Dick Tracy, played by Ray McDonnell. There he is. And Ray McDonnell would be known to you soap opera fans. So our very own Pete Schermacher would definitely know who Ray McDonnell is. He's one of the only two original cast members from ABC soap All My Children. Him and Susan Lucci.
Right. To go all the way to the end, I guess.
It's all the way to the end, like nearly 900 episodes.
Yeah.
And if you look at his IMDb, that's all he did. He did a handful of things, Dick Tracy and All My Children, for 40 years.
Well, that's often what happens when you get into soaps. You don't go anywhere else.
Well, why? Hey, acting's a tough gig. You get a paying gig for that long. I remember tuning into Days of Our Lives with my stepmom a few years back, and one of the characters who I saw when I was a little kid was still on the show, and you could tell he did not have the ability to walk, and he was just this old man in a chair, and they just cut to him reciting lines every now and then. I was like, wow.
I believe you're referring to Victor Kiriakis.
It might have been Jennifer Aniston's dad.
Yes, that's him. Yeah.
So playing Tess Trueheart was Davy Davison, who, if you look up her IMDb, the definition of a working actress.
Okay.
In the 60s.
Does not appear in the pilot, unfortunately.
By the way, does not appear in the pilot, as does the biggest name we're going to see on this list. Jan Shutan as Liz the policewoman, and she's best remembered, and I recognized her, as Lieutenant Mira Romaine, an officer on the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, really?
Whose mind was invaded by non-corporeal life forms in the speaking of bad third seasons, third season of Star Trek, The Lights of Zetar. Ken Mayer was Chief Pat, I almost said Pat Patterson, Kelly.
Oh, it's hard to get the wrestling out of it.
I know it's gonna be tough. Uh, was probably in every single Western ever on television at some point, and was in the movie Little Big Man, which was one of my childhood favorites. Monroe Arnold was Sam, also Car 54, Munsters, and he's in Alice's Restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, well, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I have things to say about Monroe Arnold. Well, I have things
Go ahead.
specifically to say about the Sam Ketchum character. Well, has there ever been a more useless supporting character ever created?
Liv does more than Sam does.
Sam is the definition of useless. We'll get to this clip. It's because it's from the end of the episode. I'll save it for that.
I know what I already know what it is. It's the funniest part of the show, I think.
Yeah, poor. Like, who knows? Small sample size. A pilot. Maybe he would have became something, but in this pilot, just totally unimportant.
Right.
Yeah, nothing.
And then Jay Blood as Junior Tracy, the only role he ever had. He had one role in a pilot that went nowhere, and that's it. And I think the reason why is it was the role he was born to play.
Yeah.
This kid looks like he stepped out of the Funny Pages.
Mm-hmm.
The hairstyle, everything is Junior Tracy. I mentioned that one. Kid, you're the perfect Junior Tracy. Well, the pilot didn't go anywhere. Your career's over.
Yeah. He was too old by the time the Beatty movie came around to play Junior again. But yeah, you're right. He looks, like a spitting image from the comics. Perfect hair, perfect body, shape, size, everything.
That's a child, Kelly. Come on.
I know. Well, he was probably like 25.
Yeah, maybe. And of course, Victor Buono, as mentioned, as Mr. Memory, of course, played King Tut, was in a ton of things. Acclaimed actor, Tonight Show guest. And I didn't realize this in my research. In 1980, he played Reverend Jim's millionaire father on Taxi. That was Victor Buono. And when he died in 1982, they write it into the series with an episode about Jim's father passing away. That even just thinking about it, it's one of those episodes of TV that always brings a tear to my eye. So I had no idea that he was Jim's dad on Taxi. And here I got a quote from Victor. He's saying, "I've heard or read about actors being asked the immortal question, why have you never married? They answer with the immortal excuse, I just haven't found the right girl. Perhaps because I'm on the hefty side, no one's asked me yet. If they do, that's the answer I'll give. After all, if it was good enough for Monty Clift or Sal Mineo." What a bitch. he just outed Monty Clift and Sal Mineo. Alan Jaffe as Hook, the henchman with the hook. This guy also a million parts. All I think 75% to 80% of them are as Native American characters on Westerns. Because he's a white guy with a dark complexion. So
that was steady work at that time.
Oh, he had it. Boy, he was in everything. And he was also in Papillon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of all
great
things.
Movie. Great movie.
So I got a quote here from Bill Dozier that I'd never do this. The narrator, because he's the narrator on Batman, like we mentioned, and the narrator was named Desmond Doomsday, and he was quite a character. Again, what we're doing right now is just in the same ballpark as some of my favorite podcasts, the Dana Gould Hour and the late great Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast. So I'd have to include this so Bill Dozier's ex-wife, Joan Fontaine, was the sister of Olivia de Havilland, who played Melanie in Gone with the Wind. His second wife and widow, Anne Rutherford, played Scarlett O'Hara's sister in Gone with the Wind. So he had a type. He had a type. Slave-owning women. So the plot of this episode is the title of this episode is The Plot to Kill NATO. Mr. Memory is invading Greenland. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that file was recently seen on the desk of Donald Trump in the Oval Office.
He saw this on YouTube. How do I get rid of NATO? Where's Mr. Memory? Is Mr. Memory around? And so Mr. Memory calls over Hook to feed his piranha. And he shows that that's how Hook lost his hand the first time. Yeah. He wasn't paying attention, feeding his pet piranha. Now, this is definitely Chekhov's piranhas, as we will see them much later in the episode.
Oh, yes, we will.
Was it piranhas, quicksand, the French Foreign Legion?
Yeah,
all things I thought were going to be way more important.
Yeah, I'm sure by episode 2 we'd have quicksand in a.
You'd have to.
Show. Mm-hmm.
So Hook has a message for Mr. Memory, and the message is on his hook, which I thought was very funny. He's not handicapped. He's handy-capable. He's because then he starts working Mr. Memory's computer/telepathy.
Machine. With his hook. Yeah.
With his hook.
Yeah.
To figure out who will be assigned to the case. And we cut to police headquarters, and Pat tells Agent Higgins that the hostages are being brought to the city and he'll get Tracy on it, and then gives a full biography of Dick Tracy in case someone's watching this who's never read the comic strip.
Right.
That Tracy's home, Junior gets the mail and delivers it to Tracy in the Dick Cave. I mean,
I know it's yeah.
It's so in Dick's office, he's got one of those silhouette target shooting.
Yeah, of
things.
Himself.
Of himself, I think. Maybe
it was shaped like Dick Tracy.
Yes, and men wore hats back then. It was a civilized time. Yeah. And behind that is not a bat pole, but close enough.
Bat elevator.
A bat elevator with a little basket that twirls around. There's a lot of twirling in this one. This is twirling. Mr. Memory's hat twirls. It was a big 60s thing.
Yeah, doing the twist of twirl.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was Chubby Checkers.
Come on, baby. Let's do the twirl.
The Dick twist.
The Dick twist on the Dick Cave. The possibilities for this show, like merchandise-wise.
Oh, you know it.
What a missed opportunity.
So Junior has a letter from Tess telling she's like, oh my God, I left someone out, Kelly.
Yes.
The cast. She's with their daughter, Bonnie Braids, played by, in her first role, Eve Plum, Jan Brady herself.
And she's not on the episode. Nope. She gets an intro, of course, and she was there for the intro. Her and Junior share a screen. I know, it's funny. It's the pilot, and they're not Tess and Bonnie.
But they're in the opening credits. But it's the pilot. Listen, the hot blonde and the cute little blonde chick. We couldn't afford them for the pilot.
They were already holding out for more money.
It
was like when Suzanne Summers held out on Three's Company, just talking to them on the phone. Sherwood
Schwartz is pulling a power play to keep Eve Plum off this turkey because he's got big plans for her in a couple of years.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much what this pilot is most known for, is that Eve Plum was cast as Bonnie Braids Tracy, but didn't get to play her.
So Dick Tracy is showing Junior his super cool crime lab that he has in his basement.
Yeah, and not a part of the comic strip. The comment.
It's not. That's why all the nerds in 1967 started to. This isn't like the comic strip at all.
No,
he doesn't have a crime lab in his
Where's the moon maid? Where's the moon people by this?
Where's Junior's moon maid girlfriend? But what Dick has is the cutting edge technology in crime fighting. His infrared debearder. Where he takes a mugshot of a guy with a beard and goes through huge lengths to make this beard disappear. And Junior is amazed.
Yes.
Holy shit, Tracy.
Yeah. The scientific invention of the age, basically.
So Pat calls on the wrist, was it the two-way?
Wrist TV.
Wrist TV. I'm old school. I still say radio.
Yeah, well, the TV was introduced in 1964 when they started the whole moon stuff. So they did add that at least.
Yeah, I marked out for that because that's technology he's supposed to have. The debearder, I just couldn't quite figure out.
Yeah.
Nor later on, he's got a laser beam too. Dick Tracy's got it all.
Yeah.
So Dick, Sam, and Liz are assigned to go check out cars, and there's some thing about mud on the tires that never comes back into the plot of this whatsoever.
No.
We cut to Mr. Memory tripping out into classical tunes in his spinning go-go chair. The ambassadors are in the basement of the Alexander Rest Home, and Dick Tracy shows up to talk to the doctor about the ambulance. He's a doctor because he's wearing his stethoscope at his desk. I'm shocked he didn't have the big shiny metal
That's
disc on
that only doctors on TV have.
Yeah. And Dick Tracy, he tricks him by dropping his cigarette case, and the guy picks it up and gets the doctor's fingerprints. Two things. Dick Tracy doesn't smoke, and this fingerprints thing never comes up again.
No.
Because the doc calls Memory. He's freaking out.
Yeah.
And he goes, put Ben on the phone. And Ben is this very burly orderly at the hospital. And then the next scene, they're in Pat's office. What's that? Got it. Dick, the doc was found dead on Highway 18.
Yeah. That was great. I should have got audio from that part. That was
you killed another one, Tracy. But Sam has some use. He has a letter to tell Dick Tracy to meet at the Sea Wolf Inn or they'll kill the ambassadors. Now, since they want to, 3 ambassadors will destroy NATO, apparently.
Yeah.
Why not just kill them already? There's no mention of them being held for ransom.
I know. It's really not good. And Mr. Memory also, by the way, not a actual comic strip villain.
No.
He does mention at one point Flat Top, the Brow, and Mumbles.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
But the memory will eclipse them all.
Another misstep, you should put your best foot forward. Give me Prune Face, Flat Top, one of the big guns.
Like who was in the first Batman was Riddler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go with one of the big guns. Although maybe, was Bono filming a King Tut at the time and was doing Dozier a solid?
Very possible. Got him for free. I read somewhere that Lon Chaney Jr. did makeup testing for Prune Face.
Yes, he did. That would have been great.
Yes. And Boris Karloff is still alive at the time. He could have played of Gruesome again.
Oh,
is that who he played in the?
That is they made up Gruesome though. He was,
Gruesome was made up. That's true. Or he could have played somebody. The Brow, maybe. I don't know. Somebody.
I could play Stooge Viller.
Stooge Viller, right? Wow. Who was in
the
cartoon we're going to be talking about.
You really like this.
Watched, but the early 60s cartoon.
So Dick, he's at the Sea Wolf Inn, just lounging on the bed, reading the paper. Checking out the family circus.
I know. It's so stupid.
And there's a submarine model on the mantle, and it's got a little periscope that Memory can spy on Dick Tracy. It also has a little hose that gases the room. And Dick Tracy's getting gas, and Liz knows this thing because they cut to Liz going, my women's intuition is saying Tracy's in trouble. And they're like, yo, broads, you don't know shit about Shinola. And Tracy washes his eyes out and makes a bomb out of a can of Barbasol shaving cream.
I know. I didn't know you could do that.
His way.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, he MacGyvers his way out of this shit.
A little bit of the funnies that he was reading to as kindling to start the fire. And then,
Take that, Beetle Bailey.
That would have been some good meta stuff. Him burning, Rex Morgan, MD, or something.
Or it's Al Cap. He's still mad about Fearless Fosdick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fearless Fosdick references. By the way, this show, panty dropper. Let me tell you guys. So Hook comes out and attacks, and he and Tracy have a fight, and Tracy flips him onto the bed, and he takes a front back bump that looks very comfortable and fun. He monkey flips him. He goes like wee and bounces on the bed, but he's like he landed on his hook, Tracy. He hooked himself. You killed another one, Tracy.
Yeah, I think if you watch that back, there was no way that the hook could have killed him. That was God.
So back in the Dick Cave, Tracy's there with Sam and the Chief and Liz, and he uses this special eye drops, and it's hilarious because they make up some chemical name. He has a backstory for them. These were developed by the latest, greatest minds in Switzerland, and it's the myoxy, whatever. Yeah. And they're eye drops that turn your pupils into microscopes.
Yes.
This reminded me of, I had a friend of mine who used to drop acid in his eyes, and I'm sure he thought they turned into microscopes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But what he uses with these newfound superpowers is that they've got some evidence he has to look at, and it's computer tape and Philippine pine.
Yes.
Which is very specific. And then they break to ad, and he's like, yeah, I gotta wait until this stuff gets out of my eyes, Chief, because you all look like freaks.
Yeah.
And they're all warped and shit. It's so weird. It's super weird.
I guess they thought, oh, this will be funny.
The stoners will love it. So Mr. Memory's guess Gunmall or whatever, and it didn't see her once before. Miss Flowers has to deliver a letter and run some errands, and goes out with her chauffeur, and then the cops start chasing him, and immediately they take out 2 motorcycle cops. Just take them right out. Boom. And but Dick's chasing him in the Dickmobile. And did you catch this, Kelly? Because it didn't come into the show whatsoever, but the Dickmobiles had these weird, like looping metal loops.
I know.
From the windows over to the roof of the car.
Yeah. I'm assuming maybe in a future episode it'd be explained, but no. Otherwise, I immediately thought, why is that? It's weird. That's not what a car looks like. That's not part of a car. But no explanation.
It's roll bars.
I don't know. There's so much to this that just
so they capture them, and they find out, and then right at this time, Sam is the deliverer of exposition. That's what his role is on the show, at least in this episode. Because he comes over, he's like, that Hook was an escapee from the mental ward, and I got a computer tape for you, Tracy, and a blonde wig for you, Tracy. and so Liz disguises herself as Miss Flowers. Oh, yes. Also, Sam also has all the answers. He's like, yeah, the guy sang like a bird, Tracy. It's all about telepathy and a computer and foreign powers. I was like, Sam just got it all. Sam just wrapped up the case.
Yeah.
So Liz wigs up, and Tracy is the chauffeur, and they break into the offices using a laser and find secret stairs under the doc's desk. Tracy rushes in and shoots a gun out of a guy's hand. Just bursts in the room, bam, shoots the guy's hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, Tracy, you've already killed 2 people in this episode. You might as well. and then Tracy, I can't believe he says this. He basically says to them, he's like, listen, you 2, be quiet or be dead. Shut your fucking mouth or I'll kill you.
Yeah. Well, this was getting into the period in the comic strip where they were very concerned about law and order and being soft on crime and stuff. So.
I would have loved to see the crossover with 67 Dragnet.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, a lot of people in the comments section on YouTube compared this to Dragnet, basically.
Yeah, Dick Tracy fighting hippies. That
hippie face, stoned face,
bong hit,
bong head,
bong head,
reefer man.
Oh wait, I got it. Hophead, right?
Hophead,
that's what they would have called him.
Yeah.
Okay, so So Liz saves the hostages, and Dick's in Memory's office with his back to Memory. Memory's at his desk with his head back, his arm and hand over his eyes, like, oh, the agony, with his crazy hat spinning around on top, having a conversation with Dick Tracy, who's messing around with his reel-to-reel tape recorder. And but Memory gets the drop on Dick Tracy, and he goes, I'll put on my helmet to figure out the best way to kill you. And it comes to him, piranhas, of course. But Sam busts in with a bunch of cops with their guns drawn, and they drop them or we kill Tracy, and they all just immediately drop their guns.
Synchronized dropping of guns.
All at once.
All at the same time. That was
Great plan, Sam. But it's a good thing it's Dick Tracy, because he judo chops his way free. He gets a drop kick. He hits a drop kick, Kelly.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. The action scenes in this weren't bad, I'll have to say.
The problem is our star doesn't feel like a heroic lead. He's very slight. He's perfect for soaps. Tracy gets shot in the shoulder, but he manages to turn on the tapes, and it fries Memory's brain. So as we're back at the office, Memory is back at Arkham Asylum where he belongs. And we find out the tapes were ultrasonic, and they make a point of saying, like, he's in the insane asylum. Wow, he went mad. Nope, crazy all along. It's where he broke out of. By the way, he didn't have telepathy. It was totally normal. He had radio transmitters implanted in his skull. I was like, wait, what the fuck? What? How does any of this work?
It doesn't.
And Tracy gets a week off, but pretends not to hear. And then comes back in. He's like, I'll take that week off in August when it's sweltering hot, Chief. And they all laugh.
Yeah, that was just a huge, like, Tracy just told the funniest joke ever.
You gotta laugh. He'll kill you.
It was forced laughter at gunpoint to end the pilot. I want to go back just a few minutes in time to the Mr. Memory, Tracy piranhas, and Sam right after they drop the guns. And here's a little clip from then. And I want to know, what is this noise that Sam Ketchum makes here?
Okay.
Listen.
We're about to witness a very interesting sight. Mr. Tracy is going to feed his hands to my piranha.
Mrum.
No, he said, I know what he said.
Do you know what he said? What did he say?
Yeah. I'll play it again.
I'll just play the I've isolated sound.
Okay. He's piranha. Piranha.
Okay, good. You didn't have to put on closed captioning.
Okay, we are definitely going to have ongoing sound effects that you just drop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, just to make us laugh, like Matt Denton used to do. And Sam Ketchum's piranha is number one on that list.
Oh, yeah. I knew that as soon as I heard
it. So, and then they show that image that you showed before, like with the Dick signal. The car they're literally doing the Dick signal,
right?
Where it says the Ventures, and next week, the plot to destroy Metropolis, and Dick meets global enemy number one. But
wow,
sadly, not to be.
No, I wonder if that was gonna be one of the classic villains, or if it was just gonna be someone called Global Enemy Number One.
Okay, so at this point, Cal. I got the idea of, there's some ideas that don't deserve to go away. And when Travis and I were doing Gideon Guys, the Legends of Tomorrow podcast, I had come up with a little bit. We talked a little bit about seeing what's in the IMDb for the episode we watched. So right now, I am DB curious.
Please.
Yeah, here's a review. And I picked the review. There's 5 reviews, and I picked this one just for the title. This dick is a bit stiff.
Well, that's the problem, is that the most interesting part about the comic strip, Dick Tracy, is the villains and how they proceed through their villainy. And sometimes they start, not even as criminals, but things go wrong. And, things go worse. They get worse and worse and worse. And Tracy's almost like a background figure, right?
Mhm.
So for this show, and I know it's just a pilot, it's too much Dick. Um, too much Dick Tracy. Like we don't, I don't know if it'd be easy to transfer that aspect of the comic strip to a TV series. You could do it today for sure. I could see like a modern Dick Tracy where it's all about the villains and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it's just it shows like the pilot, the 67 pilot shows that Dick Tracy is just not a very interesting character. He's not Batman. He doesn't have a cool costume and all of that or superpowers. He's just a cop.
And he was always defined, even in the comics, more by all of his supporting cast than himself.
Exactly.
By the way, the title of tonight's episode: Too Much Dick. So here's the review. From the same people who brought us the live-action 60s Batman and Green Hornet TV series, this unaired and little-seen TV pilot was clearly trying to mimic the style and tone of the latter. With Dick Tracy's colorful rogues gallery, it should have been a slam dunk. So why does this pilot whiff so badly? For one, it lacks the energy of Batman, which was always in perpetual motion. Dick Tracy, on the other hand, is a lifeless slog. The best comp is that Batman is a pair of running shoes, and Dick Tracy is more like a pair of steel-toed boots. Dick Tracy has none of the flair that marked Batman. No Dutch angles, no colorful sets. It's just visually bland and uninspired. Why would a series in the age when color TV had become the norm not feature Tracy without his signature yellow coat?
Yes.
And it goes on and on and on and on. But he does mention it. Victor Bono's fine, but there's nothing for him to do and nothing to make him stand out. So.
Yeah. No, it was just, who cares about NATO? Even back then, I mean, no one cares about them now. But who cared about NATO in the 60s? Was it really that big of a deal?
I mean, it is so funny. Like the average of this is aimed at children, apparently. I think that's another thing that's a problem with this. Batman hit because kids could enjoy it, but adults realized they were watching a comedy.
Yes,
and this wasn't funny.
No,
that was kind of it was weird and silly, but it wasn't funny. The camp, and Dozier hated the term camp, but the fact is the campiness of Batman is why it was a hit, because parents liked it too.
It's no, and then when they do try comedy, it's just the worst, lazy jokes that aren't funny. Because Tracy, the strip, had comedy in it throughout. Sometimes maybe too much with the, B.O. Plenty, like extended sequences. Your mileage may vary on that stuff.
Yeah.
But Gould was originally a comic, like he did comedy strips before he did Dick Tracy.
That's right. Hey, Kelly, I got it. That's who Karloff could have played. B.O. Plenty. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd been perfect.
Oh. Anyway, we could only dream.
Karloff could master a hillbilly accent.
Yeah.
Just put a big bushy beard on him.
Yeah. So I think we've maybe said enough about this. They never attempted a TV pilot again for Dick Tracy. The movie was in development for a long time. Like that had been planned since I think the Superman movie in the late 70s came out. Planning to do a Dick Tracy movie.
I recommend, if you can find it, it's hard to find, but I think on TMC they did some special that had Warren Beatty in it, Dick Tracy, and it's bizarre because he has to do it because he still owns the rights. Because somewhere in his mind he thinks they're going to be able to do it and do it right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 100th anniversary is coming up in 5 years. But I don't think that's going to ignite a bunch of interest, unfortunately. I think the Dick Tracy media ship has passed. I mean, the comic strip is still being published.
Still going.
Yeah. One of the few from that era that are still around.
Oh, speaking of another one that's still going that I've actually checked out because you can see him online, because I've heard a few interviews with the guy who currently does it, is the Popeye strip is still going. And the guy who's doing it now is really doing some fun original stuff. It's mainly online, so I highly recommend that.
Yeah, you can get them there's I think it's called Go Comics. There's all the strips. Well, I don't know about all, but a lot of them are available online easily in this day and age where newspapers barely exist anymore. Well, speaking of comic strips, let's go into the cartoon.
Oh yeah,
from a couple years prior to the TV pilot. This is an episode of The Famous Adventures of Mr. Magoo from 1965. It was about a 1 year long series. I remember watching these as a kid for sure.
I don't remember these.
Really? Because as soon as the intro came up, that I remember clearly.
So let's talk about
song and all that.
Let's talk about the intro. We're looking at the picture of it here. I was shocked how good this was. It's amazing. It's like Mr. Magoo in famous paintings throughout history.
Yeah,
and the music slaps. But these were not the Mr. Magoos that we would catch in syndication when I was a kid. I never saw these before.
Okay, I saw the other ones too, but I know I've seen these. I know, and we'll put the music on because as you said, it does slap. It is great.
It's like a Henry Mancini vibe.
When the horns kick in at the end, it's really.
Oh yeah.
Play it a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a magnificent theme.
Okay. So Kelly, what I want to talk about this a little because I just saw this earlier when I was doing a little bit of research. Is that do you remember? Did you because it was on every year on some UHF channel here was the Mr. Magoo Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What I did not know was that was the first animated Christmas special on television.
Oh really?
Yeah, ever was Magoo. And that one, I loved it when I was a kid. But you remember the conceit of that was Mr. Magoo and a group of actors were putting on a live performance of A Christmas Carol. Because they come out and they take their bows at the end and all this shit. And that must be related to this because The Famous Adventures of Mr. Magoo is all based on Mr. Magoo apparently is a famous actor.
Yes, a great thespian.
The great thespian. In each episode, he's taking on these great roles. He's Robin Hood in one. He's in various stuff. I love it. It's brilliant. And I was shocked that I had never heard of this.
Yeah, I have the episode listing in front of me here. William Tell, Treasure Island, where he played Long John Silver. Gunga Din.
Moby Dick. You know what? I did see the Din one.
Okay.
I remember it because I remember Mr. Magoo in the diaper and the headdress running around going, water, here's your water. Holy shit.
The Three Musketeers. That would be a great one. Robin Hood, like you said, Robin Hood was a 4-parter.
Wow.
The Man of La Mancha, Don Quixote, Cyrano de Bergerac. There was a little Snow White 2-parter. Rip Van Winkle.
I was Prince Charming.
Midsummer Night's Dream. He mentions some of these when he's talking to Tracy in the
Wait, they actually
room.
did Midsummer Night's Dream?
Yep. Frankenstein, and they did a Sherlock Holmes one, of course, another one that he mentions, or it comes up at the very end.
At the end.
One. Yeah. Paul Revere was the last one.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And this was in prime time.
Yeah.
This was prime time network television show.
Wow. That's cool.
And it was one season, I think, right?
Yeah, basically, 20 some episodes. Yeah, it was one and done. And the story is, and you'll get into this, I'm sure, the Dick Tracy cartoon of the early 60s was made by the same company as Mr. Magoo.
Yes, UPA.
UPA. So yeah, they look very similar.
Really?
I think it was they had this.
I thought they looked. It looked like two different animation styles in the same show. One, the Magoo stuff looks great, and the Dick Tracy stuff looked really low rent. It was bizarre, at least to my eye.
Right. Well, I always thought when I saw this early 60s Tracy cartoon, even before I knew there was a connection, that it looked like Mr. Magoo.
Okay.
Because Magoo has that flat style of animation, right? That was popular at the time. Anyway, so this was 4 years after the early 60s Tracy cartoon, and I guess they needed an extra idea for this show, and since they had the rights to Tracy or whatever, that's where they dropped this one in.
So they do something total. There's so much meta going on in this episode. They're doing a crossover with another property.
Yeah.
And as we'll get to in the plot, Mr. Magoo in this is doing, at one point, he's in Times Square performing on Broadway, doing scenes from his hit television show that we are now currently watching.
Right.
At the same time. I was like, what? This is crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. He's playing the Mr. Magoo character from the famous Adventures of Mr. Magoo.
Yeah. Which it's wow, man, when you really think about it, man, it really like blows your mind, dude. So real quick, I want to talk a little bit about the original Dick Tracy cartoon, because
please.
When we first started putting this together, that's where we were going, because we're like, because that thing was a piece of shit. And then I read about this and I was like, no, we have to do this. We've been on a Magoo kick between this show lately and Mystery Titans Theater.
Yeah.
So Dick Tracy was played by Everett Sloan, well-known actor, very famous voice actor. But on the show, Dick Tracy was basically an incidental role. He just opened it in the office and there'd be a call saying, I'll put one on it. And they timed these to go with these after school shows that showed the cartoons. In many markets, sometimes there were clowns, but often they were like cops.
Yeah.
Like, it's Officer O'Malley with the cartoons. And there was a very famous one in New York City whose name is escaping me. So it all made sense. But the guys he'd send out were, here's who they were. There was Hemlock Holmes, an English bulldog who talked like Cary Grant. The fat Irish beat cop Heapo Calorie, who talked like an Irish and Divine.
Okay.
And then we had the racist Latino and Asian characters, Go-Go Gomez and Joe Jitsu. Now,
like the Irish cop and the British guy weren't racist also.
Well, they're not racist. That's stereotypical.
Stereotypes. Yeah.
That's
everything
stereotypical, but I mean, but Go-Go Gomez and Joe Jitsu had some racist shit. There's a bit more racist. Although Go-Go Gomez is not voiced by Mel Blanc, who you think maybe because he did Speedy Gonzalez, but the voice acting cast on this shitty show, top notch. Benny Rubin, Paul Frees, and Mel Blanc handled most of the voice work for this. That's a murderer's row of the old school voice actors. And by the way, on this show, the more we do cartoons, I cannot wait, Kelly, because I am such a voice actor geek and I have nowhere else to express it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So the villains were in it. Flat Top, Mumbles, Prune Face, and all that shit. But I never heard of it. But when the movie came out, suddenly Channel 5 in New York was showing it again. And only for maybe a month before someone noticed and said, what the fuck are you doing? This can't be on television. It's fucking racist.
Yeah.
And they pulled it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it ever made it to air in Canada that I'm aware of at that time.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you want to get into the episode?
Yeah, let's do her.
Okay, so the voice actors in this one are Everett Sloan as Dick Tracy, the great Marvin Miller, Shep Menken, and Howard Morris, who does Flat Top. And Howard Morris is one of the biggest names you've never heard of. Look up his IMDb. He was a cast member on the entire run of the original Your Show of Shows with Sid Caesar, and then Caesar's Hour. Worked all the way up into the 80s. Renowned guy, most famous as Ernest T. Bass on the Andy Griffith Show, at least to me. One of the funniest characters ever on television. And when I saw his name on there, I was like, Howard Morris. Why does that ring a bell? And when I looked it up, I was like, oh, wow. Holy shit. The guy's one of the great talents that no one talks about.
I'll play a clip of his Flat Top here.
Yeah, here we go.
Now, just before the truck hits the intersection here, we block off the street fast. The boys in the tail car move in and blast it open. Kaboom!
So in the comic strip, Flat Top's from Oklahoma.
I did not remember that.
Crooks and Falls, I believe it's called.
So he talked like Jim Ross then?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, he couldn't have that accent because is that New York? What is that exactly?
That's a mobster voice.
Yeah,
it's the kind of voice you'd hear on Top Cat or on the Flintstones when there's a criminal coming to town.
Yeah. So as a big fan of the Tracy strip, that kind of was a little jarring. I was like, well, technically Flat Top should be a bit Southern, but that's fine. It was a legendary.
They went stereotypical mobster in the 1990 movie as well.
That's true. Yeah. There's no.
See, I think I've seen that dumb movie so many times. I think I can pull that voice. It's like, let's go, Tracy.
Yeah. And then speaking of the movie, this Mr. Magoo episode has it foreshadows the movie with all the criminals getting together for a big meeting and as a gang, right?
Man, I thought the exact same thing. I was like, did Warren Beatty see this?
Yeah.
Because
this was the inspiration.
All the bad guys there. Don't they dynamite Tracy's car?
Yes. I think the more I think of it, I think Beatty just ripped this.
Beatty was a huge Magoo head, right?
He was going to do a backdoor, he probably had sort of
planned
to have Magoo come in.
Totally, he was going to do a crossover with the Leslie Nielsen Mr. Magoo movie.
It would have been the extended Dick Tracy universe.
Well, yeah, because it was the same studio, much like we're seeing right here. I mean, it's
we figure all these things out on here.
Oh man! So, by the way, although again, great opening animation, and it opens with Mr. Magoo talking to the audience, breaking the fourth wall, explaining what they're about to see, which is wild. He's like, "Hey, I'm the great actor Magoo. Tonight I play a villain." And because by the way, Magoo is blind as a bat, and so in this sequence he murders a dressing dummy, beats the shit out of it first. Yeah. It's like an episode of The Sopranos. He beats the shit out of him, and then pulls a gun on it, knocks him down, and then says, "We'll be right back. I have to drop this stiff in the river." I was like, Jesus Christ, Magoo.
Yeah,
holy shit.
Some great lines. I love Mr. Magoo. I always have. Great character.
So here we see Flat Top and Itchy are sitting in their car waiting to pull off a heist of a Brinks truck. And they get fooled by construction worker Tracy. And in the fight, Tracy kills a motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, there's deaths in this cartoon.
Oh, one of the Brinks drivers appears to be dead, hanging out of the window.
After it crashes. Yep.
And we cut to the mob headquarters where it's Pruneface, the mole, Flat Top, Itchy, Mumbles, the Brow. Kelly, who's the blue guy with the weird voice?
That's Oodles. Yeah, pretty obscure. He was because most of them or all of the other ones are from the 40s, like the classic era. Oodles appeared in 1955. And when we get to the end of the show, when I go through some of my collection, I have a Oodles comic that I'll show because I wanted to explain. I thought that one would be maybe a bit confusing.
I thought, I'm like, did they make this guy up?
No,
I had
not
no
made
idea.
up. Great look, of course, so it fits. They probably looked through, all the different characters, and someone said, "Oh, that would be a great one." But yeah, it's interesting. In the early '60s cartoon, Stooge Viller was one of the villains, and he was from the very early days.
I remembered.
Yeah,
That's what I remember. I had those Brown collections.
yeah,
My favorite Dick Tracy's were the 30s.
yeah. So Viller was from the first couple years of the strip. I can't remember.
BB Eyes.
They had BB Eyes, which was a 40s guy too. So usually it's a 40s guys. In the 1990 movie, it was mostly 40s guys, 30s guys.
Mm-hmm.
They rarely dip into the 50s, and the 50s had a lot of great characters, as I'll probably talk about later.
Yeah, I got a couple of bad ones like Pear Shape.
Yeah, Pear Shape was, Pear Shape was actually Gould making fun of himself.
Oh, really?
It was supposed to be a character of himself, kind of. Yeah, but no, that wasn't a great continuity. That's for sure.
So, and the voice, I wish I could pull the voice the guy does for Oodles. That's Shep Menken. It is so weird and hard to do. He kind of like this here, and it's weird. A lot of great voice work here, and I do love. These all look like Al Hirschfeld drawings of these of all the bad guys. They're all the same color. Like Prune Face is shades of purple. Itchy is Mumbles is all yellow. He's even blonde. It's
like one color for each.
The mole is just all orange.
Yeah,
brown.
Yeah, his clothes and face are the same color.
Well, that's actually clay from digging around in the
underground. Yeah.
I do know that Mole turns babyface eventually.
He does. Yeah.
Right.
He was used in like the modern strips, I believe.
Wow. Because I do remember, like, in his first one, Tracy tosses him in jail, but it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
And he gives him a carton of smokes and a present, and Mole's just like, "Oh, gee, thanks, Tracy."
Yeah, nobody had ever shown him kindness before.
Yeah.
So he was telegraphing, and it was interesting because that continuity also had Steve the Tramp coming back.
Yes, as a babyface.
Yeah, as a babyface, and so that was interesting how they had one babyface at the beginning, and then they turned Mole babyface at the end.
Yeah, that's awesome. So they decided that they all got to kill Dick Tracy, but they're all too scared to do it. I do like that the Brow's like, the sight of blood makes me sick. But Prune Face has an idea. They're going to send away for Squinty Eyes, who was deported 10 years ago. We find out later that he was, as Dick Tracy said, he was a hatchet man for the mob. A hatchet man. Wow, what a great turn of phrase.
Yeah.
And they couldn't pin any murders on him, but they pinned bombings on him. So that's how they deported him. I wonder where he was deported to.
I know, like he speaks with an American
Magoo.
accent. He's Magoo. He's got the same voice. So I don't know. It's interesting. I was thinking that myself. They're very careful not to mention any other countries or anything.
Mm-hmm. We wouldn't want. Okay, yes, the creators of the Dick Tracy cartoon wouldn't want to offend anybody.
No, heaven forbid.
So we cut to a plane, and Squinty Eyes has apparently stolen a kid's crime comic book and his Beatles wig, because it's Mr. Magoo in a Beatles wig.
Yes.
And where did he get a crime comic in the mid-'60s?
I know. That's not historically accurate because the Comics Code, as we know, got rid of all those nasty things.
Buddy, you have no idea how long I've been waiting to make that joke with you about this. When the minute I saw that he was reading crime comics, I was like, come on.
I know. And wasn't it? It was like a very generic title and cover.
Yeah, it would have been great if it was
literally like crime comic, I think.
Crime comics. Well, that's definitely not code approved. Maybe they sell those in Europe or wherever he's coming from. So we cut to the office, and Chief Pat gets a call from Interpol that Squinty Eyes is on his way. And while I said the animation for the Tracy characters isn't great, it does look weirdly comics accurate, especially when it's the chief talking on a telephone. You have to see it. It's bizarre looking.
Yeah, Patton's maybe the best looking one.
He looks great.
Accuracy.
He looks right off the page. It's like they pulled him up like they did on Marvel superheroes.
Although he does have a super thick Irish accent that I also don't know if that was comic strip accurate.
Isn't that up to each of us?
I know. Well, and it's the chief, the stereotypical chief. Chief Brandon, the original chief, I think would have had an Irish accent. Patton, I think he was American born.
All right, really? A guy named Pat Patton couldn't possibly have an Irish.
Well, I know he was Irish American, but I don't think he spoke like he was from Belfast.
I guess he grew up here. Okay,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I was always see. I'm so old school with Tracy that I never liked Sam Ketchum because I liked Pat because that's what I grew up reading because I grew up in 1941 and I didn't like the design of Sam Ketchum. I thought he was an unpleasant character to look at, artistic wise. He had these weird freckles.
Yes,
and he was strange, and he always had like a little
nose.
A bulbous nose and a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Well, he's a chain smoker. Yeah.
A chain smoker. Well, I guess so. He does look more like a real cop, I guess. You're gonna fucking kill me with that. Oh man. So Tracy goes to recruit Magoo. He goes to the show. Now it's a sold-out house, Kelly, but apparently they're not there because they think Magoo is a great actor. They like watching him kill himself because every time he falls into a tuba, he hits he's on a rope like Sting, and he runs into a column.
Yeah,
and every time the audience dies.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the joke is that he thinks he's a great actor, but his popularity is based on him being a bad actor.
Was that? The Adam Sandler syndrome. Got it. So Tracy goes backstage and recruits Magoo by buttering his bread about what a performance, and Magoo's so excited he accidentally cream pies himself right in the face as we cut to commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You got to watch it to see what I'm talking about. But here, right on the screen, there's the meta sign. Now playing Mr. Magoo, world famous actor, recreates some of his roles from the well-known television series you are now currently watching. You know? So Squinty Eyes is picked up by Dick, disguised as a cab driver. And I don't know, the drawing of Dick Tracy wearing the cab hat just made me giggle. It just looked great. It looked great. But what also made me giggle is Dick just takes Squinty Eyes right to police headquarters. And then apparently Mr. Magoo had his head down in the front seat, blowing Dick Tracy this entire time, giving him roadhead. When his head came up from Tracy's lap, I fucking died. And
did you get all that?
Yeah, I sure did. I
swallowed it all.
I got all of it, Dick.
Oh, Jesus.
And so Magoo goes to be. So they dress up Magoo like Squinty Eyes, and Tracy warns him. He's like, "All right, now, just so you know, these guys are killers. You recruited me to do this, right? Are you the one getting cold feet?" But we need to find out what their plan is. What could possibly be the plan of the ultra team up of Dick Tracy's villains? The fact that Dick Tracy is supposed to be a decent detective, right? That he needed Mr. Magoo to figure out what these guys might be up to is killing him. Wow. So Mr. Magoo goes, he meets the mob, and they go, "Okay, you're going to blow Tracy up. And with some dynamite, and Flat Top's going to drive you there." So we cut to Dick, and he's upset that he's like, Jesus Christ, Pat, I think I killed Mr. Magoo. And Pat says, don't blame yourself, Dick. I was like, no, blame yourself, Dick. This is all your fault with your cockamamie idea. And so Dick goes outside, and like we said, his car blows up, and the bad guys drive away. But Dick is safe. He was saved by a note that Mr. Magoo left on the driver's the steering wheel. And Pat points out, boy, he learned demolition fast. I was like, the fact that they decided to address, well, how did Mr. Magoo know how to blow up a car? Right. That they used that as a joke in this.
I didn't even catch that. Yeah.
It was very funny. Pruneface gets a call that Tracy is alive. And then my absolute favorite part of this, Kelly, we cut to Chief Pat with Dick Tracy. He's like, he has the phone call. He's like, what? He's like, Squinty Eyes got away. And Tracy goes, how? He goes, I don't know. And then they just cut.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess he had to get out. I guess they couldn't waste any money animating.
That's that. The fact that he's like, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. It's so funny. And as they get in their cars to go to drive away, did you notice every other building around the police headquarters is a bail bondsman's building?
Yes, like in giant letters. Yeah.
There was like 4 of them. Which was that was so good. What a nice touch. So Squinty Eyes, the real one, arrives at mob headquarters, and Magoo comes in, 2 Squinty Eyes, and the bad guys are all confused. They got both of them at gunpoint. They want to fight. Like we keep cutting to the cops driving to the scene as they, in true 60s animation fashion, drive by the same 3 barns 8 times
and all the cars are lined up like perfectly with each other, so they all turn exactly at the same time.
So Magoo's wig falls off. And the bad guys tie him up and dynamite tie him up and leave some dynamite in the room to kill Dick Tracy. But Mr. Magoo saves the day by kicking the dynamite out a window. Yeah. And the bad guys get away in a big helicopter. They just fly away in a big helicopter to fight Dick Tracy another day, which is a better ending than what they did in the movie when they killed all the best characters. All of them. Yeah, all of them. Really?
Right. Oh, right. We're going to do a sequel.
I figured there was going to be a sequel. I was sure this was going to be the smash hit of the season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, they didn't tap into the 50s, 60s. There's plenty of characters they could use for the sequel. That's one of the main complaints of the movie, is that they wasted so many villains almost just willy-nilly, for no reason.
I didn't even mind that Warren Beatty was clearly too old to play Dick Tracy.
I guess he was just, and also too well known, too famous. I think maybe. Anyway, we won't litigate yet again.
So anyway, so we wrap up the episode. Dick has Magoo at his office, and he's so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Magoo. I put you in this situation. He goes like, oh, that'll be great publicity. And he's like, Mr. Magoo, you can never tell anybody. He's like, well, why is that? He's like, and in a very ominous way, reaching out to America, Dick Tracy informs America, listen, the mob is growing and they're everywhere. And if they find out that they were fooled by you, your life wouldn't be worth a plugged nickel. He's like, and then he turns into Sherlock Holmes, and that's the end. That's true. I loved this. I thought this was a stone blast.
Yeah, me too. I mean, like I said, I love Mr. Magoo. I'd forgotten until we watched that one for Mystery Titans, the wrestling one. I'd forgotten how much I loved Mr. Magoo as a kid. My dad loved Mr. Magoo. As he loved to do sort of like a bit of an impression of Mr. Magoo. And
was it Mr. Magoo calling for his Asian houseboy?
Knowing my father, probably. But I don't remember. But yeah, so many great lines. I want to go back to one. Well, it's my absolute favorite, and it has Mumbles We get a clip of what Mumbles sounded like here.
Who's this kid, a method actor? Something, huh?
So good. You know, like because
It's a
the
great
joke was,
line.
Marlon Brando mumbled
Uh-huh.
time, and James Dean, I guess.
And boy, wow, that was foreshadowing. Who played Mumbles in the movie?
Oh yeah, Dustin Hoffman, famous,
Notorious method actor Dustin
notorious,
Hoffman.
famous method actor. But yeah, it's just a throwaway line, but it was so good.
I love when you just hear the audio. Did George Lucas steal this Mumbles bit for all the alien voices in Star Trek? Holy shit! That's the first thing I thought of when I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, this was so much fun. It worked perfectly. Magoo, Tracy, why not? I mean, the whole thing. It was silly, but yeah, it was good. They had the villains. You're not going to get us, hyper violent Dick Tracy cartoon in the 1960s.
Dude, 2 people lost their lives in this
But yes,
episode.
there was more. It was more violent than the TV pilot, that's for sure. But that's why cartoons there to be a crackdown in the 70s, I guess, right? 70s.
Oh yes, the 70s when suddenly Tom and Jerry were best friends and held hands.
Yeah,
it was great.
I know. We lost our way as a Western culture long ago. It was because of what we did to our cartoons. No, this was fun. I'm gonna definitely check out some of the other famous adventures of Mr. Magoo. They must be great. The Sherlock Holmes one, I think, is the one I'm gonna check out next.
Yeah, as soon as you said the Gunga Din one, I had this. It was like a memory flash that hit me like a ton of bricks because I hadn't thought about that since I was 8. But the image of Mr. Magoo dressed up like Gunga Din, just like boom, it hit me just right square in the cortex of my brain. It's because as a kid, I thought it was bizarre. Like, this is bizarre because I had seen Gunga Din and I knew that Gunga Din is supposed to be Indian, and Mr. Magoo is running around in a diaper,
right?
Bringing water to Cary Grant and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. I was like,
right.
What is going on here?
Yeah. No, I know I saw these as a kid. Like, I don't know how regular they were on, but especially the intro. Like I said, I know as soon as that came up, I was like, oh yeah, totally remember that.
All right.
But back in the 80s, there was cartoons. They would be used, like you said about the clown shows and stuff in the 60s, or the kids shows, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All these cartoons would be, mixed with different, local programming and stuff.
Yep.
It was very Wild West kind of back then.
Out of Philadelphia, we had, I can't remember if it was on Saturday afternoons or it was on Sunday mornings or whatever, but it was Captain Noah's Magical Ark. And Captain Noah lived on like a big, almost like a steamship sort of thing. And that was the set, just the deck. And his wife was on it. And he was this crazy sailor outfit and did arts and crafts stuff and all this other boring stuff, but he showed Popeye cartoons, but not the good ones. Those early 60s Popeyes that are the animation is just stiff and flat,
right,
and grotesque, and where Bluto becomes Brutus.
Ah, yes, that's a telltale sign of decline in quality. For sure.
Before we move on to the last part of the show where Kelly's gonna show us some of his collection, that's a teaser because we're definitely doing a Popeye episode somewhere down the line.
Oh yeah, because all the Fleischer Studio ones, or maybe not all, but a lot of them are on YouTube in a very good quality, easy to find. There's lots of possibilities for a Popeye episode.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that new Popeye horror movie that they just put out. Now that now that he's in the public domain.
Okay, well, the original Popeye from the late 20s that doesn't even look like Popeye.
Yeah. So far they've done that with Winnie the Pooh and Popeye. As soon as it's in the public domain, there's a cheap horror movie about it.
Crazy. Okay, folks, we'll take not even a break, really. We'll just do a little transition here, and then we'll get to some highlights, Dick Tracy related highlights from my comic collection.
Nice.
If Chester Gould wasn't going insane or going senile at this point, I refuse to believe that he at least wasn't high on crack. I mean, it was the groovy 70s after all.
I found that one. That's from one of the videos that I'm going to put in the comments section. It's by a YouTuber called Mr. Rogues. He did. It's like the top 10 most grotesque Tracy villains.
Nice.
That line was just hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah, everyone knows the 70s and crack. They just went hand in hand.
It's good. It's no piranha, but it's good.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it would be a nice transition. So I will put up things like this, as you can see.
So I was saying we need to have, because I love old radio and segments and recurring bits. And I love that we're going to see so much of Kelly's amazing collection. And as it needed a title, and I was thinking, Kelly's Collectible Corner, all K's. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Why not? The KKK isn't really around anymore, is it? So.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
No, that we could use just 10 seconds of the Ramones song. KKK took my baby away, just enough to skirt being sued.
Okay, I'll get that for next time. Yeah. So as you can see, I'll just give you a little glimpse of you talked about the Dick Cave. This is the Kelly Cave.
It's the Kelly, same.
Yeah. Just since September, I turned this room because it was starting to amass in the living room a bunch of my comics. And stuff.
So I know exactly why this all got moved out of the living room.
Well, it was getting too big for one thing.
No. Since I know your lovely wife, if I wanted to, I could do both sides of that conversation right now. But I digress. There's Dick Tracy up top.
Yeah, top shelf, of course. Tracy, Steve the Tramp. We just talked about him. His figure from the movie is up there.
Oh, that's the Steve the Tramp figure. One of probably the most grotesque makeup job in that movie was Steve the Tramp.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. But over the next few episodes, I'll be bringing things down. There's a clock, a Captain America clock I got at a garage sale for $10.
But Kelly, let me ask you a question. That Dick Tracy, the giant one, the collectible.
Yeah.
Was that a DC book?
It was. Yeah, it was the only one they made, or the only one that DC put out.
How did they work that out?
Just licensed. It's got the complete original flat top story in color. So I'm saving that one for a later Dick Tracy, because I think we'll look at the early 50s TV show episode with when Flat Top was a character on.
Oh, okay. Is that the one where he's flat top because he has a like a Tam O'Shanter hat that's flat?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I think, on Mystery Times.
Wow. I watched half of that about 6 months ago. Just down, just high as a kite, and I flip around and like, what is this? And I saw the flat top hat, and I giggled, and I watched half of it. It's bizarre.
Yeah. So I'll bring that one down for then. It's great. Yeah, it's in great condition too. So I'll start with
what else we got?
This is the first Dick Tracy comic I ever owned. It was a
Dick
Christmas
Tracy
present
in 3D.
Yeah. It was a Christmas present from my sister, and at the time her boyfriend, now husband. I want to say Christmas of 1986, and I was already into comics big time. That's why they got this. I don't think I'd had any interest or knowledge really of Dick Tracy before that, but I'll open it up. I mean, the fact that it was in 3D really hooked me, because at that age you're like really into a gimmick like that, right? And a 3D comic. Oh wow, it's really stuck in this bag. Okay. And I still have the glasses. It's pretty beat up, because for years I was only 9 years old when I got it, and of course I wasn't too keen on keeping things in great condition back then. But it's intact, completely intact, as you'll see here. You can see
here.
Oh no!
I need my 3D glasses. I can't see any of this.
Yeah, the lighting is not the best. But yeah, here's the glasses. It's the creature from the Black Lagoon because I guess that was one
That's
of
so funny. That's
the sequel was
so
yeah.
know what it was is they had to make some 3D glasses for Creature of the Black Lagoon. Some company had to make them. They had surplus.
Yeah,
And
because it
the
even
comic book
says 3D video on it.
Yeah, somehow the company that put out those comics got their hands on surplus
Yeah,
surplus Creature for the Black Lagoon 3D glasses.
I know. That's exactly what it must be. Yeah. Because, yeah,
That's
the back it
great.
says 3D video. I think it was the sequel, Revenge of the Creature, was in 3D from the 50s.
Wow.
But yeah, this the story is it's kind of maybe you can see it a bit better here.
Yeah.
It's the story of Miss Egghead, but well, specifically the part of the story where Tracy is stranded on a desert island. He's kicked off the airplane at the beginning, finds himself on this island, and he finds himself with a inspector from Scotland Yard who's already been there for quite a few months, so he's already looking like Tom Hanks in Castaway. He's all skinny and you can see his ribs. Tracy himself, of course, grows a beard because things go pretty fast. You see here with the beard.
Bearded Tracy
loses a lot of weight. They're in there, just shirtless, both of them for months.
Oh God, no, I know what. No, okay, hold on. They're shirtless in 3D, and that's why it was sticking in that bag.
Yeah. This with the rock, the boulder. This was cool in 3D as a kid.
Oh, wait, you said the rock. I think. Wait a minute. What?
Like what is he doing here? Oh yeah, he wanted this stick, and he accidentally with the boulder, he gets the stick out, but a boulder falls and destroys his two-way wrist radio. So that makes things even worse. It's actually a really fun story.
I do recall in the early 90s when it wasn't the comic boom. The 90s comic boom wasn't just yet, but it was starting. And I'd go to my comic shop, and besides the Marvels and the DCs, they carried like all the independents. And there was an independent company that had the rights to the original strips who were releasing them in comic book form.
Yes, this was the same publisher, Blackthorn Publishing.
Okay. I remember the one I remember particularly was the Mrs. Pruneface storyline. Definitely was released in comic book form.
Okay, that was a little later. That came out when the movie came out. I do have that over here. Gladstone was the publisher. They put out a lot of Walt Disney stories from the 50s, like 40s and 50s, Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse. But they did, I believe, 5 issues of random Dick Tracy stories. And the Mrs. Pruneface was the first one that they did.
That's the one that sticks out. I remember. No, I think I ended up owning it. I think I just bought it for some reason.
Yeah, it was cool because it was in color too.
Yeah.
And color, adding color to Tracy, it makes it like it feels like a Batman comic then from the 40s or whatever. It's color definitely always suited Tracy. So yeah, this is a Blackthorn. And then I have a whole bunch. Like Blackthorn put out a ton of Tracy comics. This was the second one I ever got. And I thought this was the same thing. I thought it was going to be a 3D comic.
Yeah.
Because the cover kind of makes it.
The cover kind of looks 3D-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little. I think it's just because the way they printed it made it kind of blurry. Yeah. I don't think it was intentional.
I know that book, Kelly. Yeah. The story I was just telling about what was on the shelves, that one in particular, I remember seeing that one on the shelf.
Yeah. This is a story of Flat Top Jr.
Yes.
The famous one from the 50s. Liz is down here.
Yeah. Is Flat Top Jr. from, is he an Okie?
Yes. He's an Okie. They're all from, Crooks and Hills is where they're from. Not Crooks and Falls. Crooks and Hills, Oklahoma.
Crooks and Hills, Oklahoma. That's great. That needs to be someone's wrestling hometown. Crooks and Heels. Oklahoma. Wow.
Yeah, well, Gould was great with the puns, of course.
Oh no, Gould's puns, I always thought were actually funny. I always thought that for the most part. I think in the 50s it got a little silly, but
Yeah,
some
I
of
mean
those
there
30s
was
puns were.
yeah, there was forced stuff, and then as you get into the 60s and then the 70s, things are getting a little.
At least he didn't become a total asshole like Al Cap. So
not publicly, anyway.
okay, not publicly then. Okay,
There's
hey, at
some
least not publicly.
stories, but we won't get into.
Oh,
that.
I never expected him to be a paragon of liberal virtues.
Yeah. No,
at least he kept it to himself. Okay.
He was definitely on Mayor Daley's side when the Democratic convention happened in 1960.
Yeah, but he didn't have but he didn't start drawing. Yeah, Dick Tracy did not fight Hophead. He kept away from that shit, right?
Yeah, there was a few.
Junior must have gotten involved with some hippies at some point or another.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was like a later act, or no, it was punks when Max Allen Collins took over.
That's right. I remember that.
Punks, were villains. This was the late 70s when the punk music was first becoming a big thing.
But to be fair, if there was ever a musical genre that the stereotypical look would be perfect for a Dick Tracy villain, it's punk rockers.
Yeah.
With the chains, the mohawks, just all that stuff. I mean, that's perfect for Dick Tracy.
Yeah, totally. So this storyline is about juvenile delinquency. This was kind of Gould's attempt at doing a 50s juvenile delinquency storyline, because Flat Top Jr. is a teenager and he partners up with a guy named Joe Period, who's like your stereotypical like James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause kind of guy. And they
was this a middle finger at Frederick Wortham? I'll
I don't think Gould cared about that at all, because like Gould, like if anything, Tracy comics got more violent after the Wortham stuff, but that didn't really touch on Wortham didn't go after the comic strips. Comic strips were considered, they're in the newspapers, so they're
well, they were also under control of very very powerful conglomerates.
Yeah, and the comic strips it was assumed that your parents were reading them too. They weren't just for kids.
Well, I mean, there's one family name I'll mention, Hearst. So
yeah. So anyway, it's a cool storyline. And then Oodles.
Okay, that's what I wanted to see.
Here's
Oodles.
This is from a Blackthorn comic. Yeah.
So what was okay? So I couldn't make it out from the cartoon we saw, and the voice they gave him was almost a weird hillbilly voice.
Yeah, I don't think that was the character in the
why is his nickname Oodles? Is it because he's fat?
Yeah. I read this a few years ago, but I don't remember too much about it. I should have refreshed my memory. But yeah, mid 50s, just before the Flat Top Jr. storyline, actually.
Okay, Kelly, what a great name for a villain who's fat. Oodles. How much of that guy is there? Just dude, Oodles.
Mm-hmm. Oodles. And the hair is perfect too.
Looks like noodles. So
he's gigantic. Here's like a panel where it shows him compared to other characters.
That's great. Oodles, a big giant. He's like Andre the Giant.
Yeah, more or less. I'm just trying to remember what his angle was. There's a story here about they find a skeleton that was put in, like when they built a bridge, someone put it there. Anyway, he's always weighing himself. Here's how much do you weigh? 465 without my guns. I'm down almost 2 pounds. Yeah. He's also, I think, kind of like not a beatnik, but like a jazz kind of, like a mainstream, middle of the road person, like Chester Gould's idea of like a jazz guy, like a hipster, I guess you would say.
Speaking of which, one of the I think one of Dick Tracy's assistants on the Terrible Racist cartoon had an informant on the street, who, like, the guy who knows what's going on everywhere. Like, remember on Police Squad, it was the shoe shine guy, knew everything. That's a beatnik, and he's like, so what's the skinny on what Flat Top's up to? And he just bang on his drum or his bongos,
Right.
and he'd understand what it was.
And then this is
that's a biggie.
Yeah, these are IDW.
I've seen those.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
29
got
volumes in all.
39.
29.
29.
It's all the Goulds. I only have 6 of them. They're expensive.
I've seen this. I've got the I think it's the same company. I've got the Bloom County.
Yeah, probably because
ones.
they put out IDW did. They tried to do Lil Abner, but they stopped right around the wedding or right after the wedding of Abner and Daisy May.
Mm-hmm.
They did Terry
because right after then Al Cap lost his mind and decided to attack Joan Baez. Like what?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it does decline after the marriage, but they did plan to put the whole thing out. But the only one, I think maybe the only one they completed was Dick Tracy. They did. It took 15 years, I think, putting out a couple or 3 or so every year. But yeah, I only have 6. This was the first one I got because I had never read the original Prune Face story. I missed out getting the Blackthorns of it. Anyways, and it wasn't in the complete, that one that we both had, the complete, or no, not the complete. What is it called? Celebrated cases.
Celebrated, yes. Celebrated cases of Dick Tracy, which is what all of these great stories.
Mm-hmm.
And pear shape.
Pear shape.
Why is this in there? I remember reading that and going, why is this in here? Why is this in here?
The very last one. But anyway, for whatever reason, Prune Face wasn't included in that one.
Was Prune Face a Nazi?
Yes. I don't know if he was actually German, but he worked for the Nazis.
He worked for the Nazis because I remember Mrs. Prune Face being a Nazi agent.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. And so, in the Mrs. Prune Face one, I did have the one we talked about, the one that came out when the movie.
So so I have a question for you. So do you think like Prune Face and Mrs. Prune Face just happened to randomly meet one day and they both had prune faces and they fell in love? Or is it incest and they both come from the Prune Face family? Could and they only it's like the royal family type situation.
Well, I believe the story with Mrs. Prune Face is that did she have acid? Or she tried to commit suicide, I think, after Prune Face died, and it ended up scarring her face.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. That wasn't her natural face, like it was with Prune Face. But this is a great one. This has like some really cool stories. And
I'd like to have been at that wedding. I now pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Prune Face. It's Prune Facci.
Prune Facci. There you go. Yeah. So these are like out of print and they're super hard to find at a good
They're
price.
great. I remember seeing
when it was
those,
brand new. Yeah. So I got it for cover price. But yeah, it's got Prune Face. It's got Laffy. That's a good one. Kind of a
I'm not familiar with Laffy.
Laffy, it's funny because his gimmick is he's laughing all the time.
I know. Shit.
And then at the end, his jaw gets stuck open from his laughing, and he can't eat anything anymore, and he's wasting away.
Is he starved to death?
He's getting. I think that's just water. Just pour it on my teeth. And he's on his deathbed here, and I think he's having a baby face turn. Oh yeah, he's dead. Laffy is dead.
It's crazy. Just how violent they are. Because we make jokes about the movie killing all the bad guys, but a lot of the great ones, you have these great arcs, but these motherfuckers die. He will figure out Gould would figure out how to bring some people back to make it like what was it? I think Mumbles drowns. That you can always get out of that one.
Speaking of Mumbles, the last thing I have to show is my Mumbles figure.
The Mumbles, holy shit! Speaking of Dustin, it looks just like Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah,
dude, it's Dustin Hoffman come to life. Look at him. Holy shit!
Got those this for $5. Still
$5. I can't believe
Canadian dollars. Yeah, so
I cannot believe
free for Americans.
Dude, once again, just to touch on the movie one more time, they were banking on this being a smash hit. There was going to be toys. There was going to be everything.
Here's all the toys.
Yeah. I remember going to see it by myself, and I kind of like one of those things where I convinced myself it was good because there was so much about it that I did like and love, and I loved Dick Tracy, and I was like, yeah, but then I took a girl. I took a girl that I'd been dating in college, and I was back in New Jersey, and I flew her from Kentucky to New Jersey. We were going to talk about her possibly moving to New Jersey, and we had the first couple of nights were great. I took her to see Dick Tracy. She broke up with me. I don't think this is why, but she broke up with me the next day, and we had to spend the next 4 days hanging out. It was very awkward. It was all Dick Tracy's fault.
Yeah, I think so. That's unfortunate. I felt the same way. I mean, at that point, I was peak Tracy nerd. I'd gotten into the reprints a couple of years before the movie came out, so I was well prepared. But I was like, of all my friends at the time, I was the only one who knew anything about Dick Tracy.
Yeah,
but everybody was excited about it because everyone thought it was going to be another Batman. Like Batman had been the year before, so everyone was primed for like another, great thrill ride of a movie like Batman. And yeah, I watch it once every 10 years. The music is great. The costumes are great. Tracy,
the choice of doing it, I think it's some people. It was one of the things that a lot of people hated. I thought the choice to make it look like a comic strip come to life, that it's all the whole 4 colors. It's just the bright colors. The money is just green paper with a dollar sign on it. All that shit. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
The fact that the all the backdrops for the scenes were drawn.
Right.
So the cityscapes were just drawings, and there's humans walking around in the drawings. I thought all that shit was brilliant. I did just recognize that, though. There's a period about 2/3 through that you're like, this shit's fucking dragging. And considering that Madonna and Warren Beatty were together at the time, they have like no fucking chemistry on screen at all. At all.
No. Yeah, it looks great, sounds great, but yeah, there's little substance to it, unfortunately.
I'll as we start to wrap up, one last thing about the movie. And I had this, and I wish I still had it because I would send it to you, my friend. So something to look out for is the Entertainment Weekly issue that came out about Dick Tracy. And it's just all the villains on the cover hanging out together in their makeup. And that's what sold me on it. I was like, look at this. That looks fucking amazing. Because the makeup in that movie is top notch.
Yep. And it got, Oscar nominations. Pacino was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Big Boy and music nominations. No, it was considered before it came out like a favorite for big, maybe even Best Picture.
Oh, wow.
Because of Beatty's past track record.
Okay. One last thing. So back in those days is when I was going on Grateful Dead tour, and during summer tour, you could always what's the hot new thing in pop culture? You could find T-shirts in the parking lot that people would create and sell. That'd be to Grateful Dead-icize something that's popular. The year before, Steal Your Faces with the Batman symbol in them. They were everywhere. I was convinced there was going to be Dick Tracy shirts out there because of it's perfect. Because if you know your Grateful Dead icons, the Shakedown Street ghost is in a zoot suit. And I was like, Shakedown Street guy in the Dick Tracy hat and coat, instead of spinning a pocket watch, has a machine gun. Convinced they were going to be all over the parking lot. They were not. And I finally saw a really bad Dick Tracy shirt. And I was like, it's shitty, but I'll take it. And it was just like a skeleton in the jacket. And on the back, it had the movie ticket with the tour dates on it. And it looked like shit. And I regretted it. And I regretted it, Kelly, because two days later in Philadelphia, I saw someone selling a shirt with the design I had created in my head, but I had already spent my allotment for
no.
t-shirts.
No, that's
That
unfortunate.
was back in the day where you're like, I have $20 for t-shirt. I have $30 for food. I'm going to be on the road for 3 weeks.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no. One t-shirt would be about all you could afford. That's too bad. Oh, well, yeah. Well, this was a great start, Johnny.
I had a great time, man. So much
Yeah,
fun.
I was thinking, well, we'll keep it under an hour maybe, but of course.
That's hard for us. It's hard for us.
No. But this is fine. Yeah, we won't hit the 3-hour marks, but you never know when
You never know, but
it's all free flowing here. There's no planned end really to things.
And for those of you who are checking out, hey, thank you. If you're enjoying it, let your friends know. There's one thing Kelly and I are famously not good at is promoting ourselves. So any help that you can give us, the whole if you like it, comment in the comments. And to all of our friends who follow us from wrestling, who are just doing us a solid by watching this show, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm far past the point of caring about an audience. I'm sorry. I'm doing this purely for.
I mean, so am I, because honestly,
and ego and just
honestly, and because I'm always trying hey, I want to promote. I always want to promote, but I feel the exact same way, dude. Yeah. I've had an itch to just do something different. Yeah. And you and I have been doing projects together for 13 years now. And one of my most favorite things is to talk comic books and comic book culture with you. And if anyone else enjoys hearing two great friends talk about geeky shit that they love, tune in. No negativity here, man.
Nope. And next time, I think we're going to be doing Mad Magazine.
Yes.
I'll look at some stuff from the 70s, some of their records that they put out and stuff. I mean, there's lots of possibilities.
Some clips, I figured, because there are clips, some clips from their failed movie, Up the Academy. We'll take a look at some of those.
Yeah. Yeah. The more obscure, the better, of course. So that'll be down the pipe.
We're going to go over William Gaines' tax return from 1957.
There you go.
It's going to be a 3-hour show.
Sure. Yeah. Super, super obscure and niche stuff, as only Kelly and Johnny can deliver on Fantasy Masterpieces.